VASA is known as a third sector interface, and where most people may know that there's 32 local authorities in Scotland, they might not be as aware that there are also 32 third sector interfaces. We are independently funded by Scottish Government, and we provide 4 core services, or 4 core strands of work. These are volunteering, capacity building, social enterprise, and building the third sector relationship with community planning. There are quite a few elements to the services we deliver under the capacity building umbrella. We provide a training course called Strengthening Our Communities. We actually deliver that in partnership across South Ayrshire with the community engagement team from the local authority. It happens almost like a quarterly basis, and we provide sessions morning, afternoon and evenings to have as big a catchment of the community as we can. We provide through that information on governance and trustees, legal structures to help companies to grow and develop. We assist organisations locally to capacity build through the use of volunteers to increase their service delivery and activities, and we secure them funding. So our capacity building staff will horizon scan to find what's available that suits the organisation, and we have been successful in securing funding to leverage into South Ayrshire. We then would help the organisations to report on what they've, how they've spent the funding, how they've spent the funds that they've received, and also to help them with their evaluation. We have a staff member fully trained in logic models, and it's a great tool to share with other local organisations to help them to evaluate their projects.
On a day-to-day basis, I support groups within South Ayrshire with their funding requirements. That can be small start-up companies to well-established groups.
Ayrshire Council and Alcohol is an alcohol counselling and recovery service for individuals and their families aged 16 plus living in South and East Ayrshire. We provide confidential free counselling to problem drinkers, whether they wish to cut down their drinking or whether they wish to stop their drinking completely. And we also provide a support service for people who are affected by someone's drinking. VASA have actually provided a variety of supports for ACA. I first met Claire Graham at a finance course that was run and organised by VASA, and we sort of introduced each other. I was a new service manager, so although I had 15-16 years of experience in counselling, there were other areas that I felt I needed support with and would like to develop. The first area was we didn't have a website, so Claire very quickly suggested that it was something that VASA could support and assist us with. She linked us into Rosemary here at VASA, who then asked Stuart, the administration assistant at the time, to become involved. And we met, and basically Stuart took on the design and the development of the website, which was launched in May this year. VASA have also supported us with a funding application recently. We were successful with a funding application for just under £10,000 from the Big Lottery Awards for All, and again this was something that Claire was closely involved in supporting me with. I hadn't completed a funding application for about 17 years, so I was a bit rusty, and Claire spent lots of time with me discussing the needs of the agency, and at the time for us it was really to develop a quiet space for service users and their families, a space that was ideal for the sort of couples counselling, the family work that we do, and also a space that the service users could complete their self-assessment, which is now going to be sort of rolled out across South and East Ayrshire and at a government level. So it was really important that we had up-to-date IT equipment for this purpose, so that's what the grant is going to provide us with. And again, Claire was part of the process. She met with me, I gave her my ideas, she pointed me in the right direction from which funding was probably most suitable for us. At the time, I completed the application. Claire proofed the application, gave me a few tips and a bit of advice, and then we submitted it, and a few weeks later I was delighted to hear that we'd been successful. VASA has helped us fill the gap. I required administrative support 2 days a week and an evening a week to cover the office and obviously meet and greet the service users, offer them tea, coffee, water. They're the first point of contact, and to take referrals. So we were able to initially secure a volunteer placement. The lady worked with us for 2 days a week. She was absolutely excellent and had been recently made redundant. But I was delighted that within a few weeks with us, the lady found full-time employment. So that was a sort of lovely outcome for her and for us as well to have been part of that process. So when we lost that volunteer, I got back in touch with Hazel here at VASA, and very quickly she sent me another list of suitable candidates that were selected and interviewed, and we recruited another volunteer. It was even better because she was able to cover the evening slot as well as 2 full days. It was also a test for us because we hadn't done it for some time, like recruited volunteers. So it was a big learning curve, and VASA were able to support us with that and give us some pointers. It worked out so well that we were able to find some funding and offer our volunteer a 16-hour-a-week post. So she's now a fully fledged employee at ACA.
VASA is responsible for administrating the Integrated Care Fund grant. This is a small grant fund that is allocated to third sector organisations. Our role is to administer this grant, and as part of that administration role we also have supported the recipient organisations in evaluation and reporting.
I had an idea that we wanted to do something for people with dementia, and the reason for that is that I set the company up, the first lesson in my dining room, with £100 that my grandma had left me. And my grandma had dementia in her final few years. I felt it was very lonely. And there wasn't, for someone who was a very active, intelligent woman, there was just this degeneration and lack of learning or anything new. So I had an idea that perhaps you could teach an art lesson to people with dementia, but I had no idea whether you could do it or whether it would work, or who on earth was going to back me doing this, because I didn't have any research behind me. I didn't have anything to prove that it could work. So I was incredibly fortunate to bump into Roddy McDonald, who was putting a bid together for Ayr United Football Club. And I think football and art aren't natural bedfellows, but actually what happened was we came together to create this really interesting project, which was called Walking, Talking and Drawing Together. And we were the drawing together element of that. So the first project began, it was April 2015, so just over 18 months ago. It was the beginning for us. It gave us the support to start something really special. So in the beginning it was just an idea. VASA turned that idea into a reality. And that reality now is not only spreading happiness and joy, but it's led to a research project about learning in dementia. It's led to an award-winning expansion of our project, and it's led to employment opportunities for people right across Ayrshire initially. That will grow into Glasgow next year, and then it will be heading down south of the border the year after. So this is, from this tiny seed, growing something really big, and without VASA it wouldn't have happened.
So hopefully this short video demonstrates how vital it is for small grassroots organisations to secure funding to allow them to deliver their services directly to the people on a day-to-day basis. It hugely strengthens the community activity, and as I say again, it's absolutely vital to have these services in operation.